Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out the Geelang Titan 120X HD. It's a 2.5-inch micro, 120mm motor to motor. You have a 2.5mm bottom plate unibody, and it's got a lot of cutouts here. Not sure if it's really cut all that well, but seems okay. A little bit of play in the arms, but the Petunia seems fine. Comes with these 1204 4500 kV motors. It's designed to run on 4S. I'll show you the batteries here in a second. All-in-one flight controller. It's a whip style flight controller, 25mm mounting. It's a Matek F411 based all-in-one flight controller, so it has 20 amps, 400 ESD on there, so it's like one of the more recent generation flight controllers, so it should be able to handle quite a lot of situations in current. The frame overall, obviously you have a unibody carbon 2.5mm bottom plate, but then you have this canopy here that holds the Caddx Vista system. So this is obviously a DJI digital FPV system. Get your Vista camera up here. The Vista air unit is held in this plastic polycarbonate canopy in the back, and then that is mounted to the frame through the standoffs here in the front part of the flight controller, not in the back. And then you have these 3D printer parts here that hold the back part of the canopy and the antenna. There's no screw or anything that goes through this whole thing here. This is very flexible. Could be a good thing or a bad thing. I think in a crash it'll give, obviously. That's what it's designed to do. So we'll have to see. I did have a crash already in a tree, and that's why you don't see the black props on here. I think at least mine came with black Gemfan 2540 props, but it crashed in a tree and broke 3 of them, so that's why you see the clear ones on here for the review. It does also come with the Avon 2540, the Avon 2.5-inch micro props, the red ones. I think that's for when you want to use it with the ducks. So you have the option of putting the ducks on here for 2.5mm or 2.5-inch props. I didn't actually fly it with this, just actually way more. But if you want to do some indoor stuff, which I don't think you want to fly this indoors, it's really fast, you could with the ducks on. If you really want to see that video, let me know in the comments. Back to the frame. In the front here again, this canopy is attached to this TP part in the front as well, but there's just one little screw here, and then there's 2 screws that hold the other part to the frame, and it does have some give. So in a crash, you're not going to probably break this canopy unless it's a really bad crash. Obviously the weak point's probably here, but again, it's going to give in a hard crash. And you have pretty good camera protection here with this little part here. So overall, I don't think you're going to be breaking the camera. The only thing I worry about is possibly the Vista system getting smashed down into the flight controller, because it's pretty tight there. But it would have to be a really severe crash. You'd have to break basically the canopy in these 2 spots right there for the whole canopy to collapse. Anyway, this one here is the XM Plus version. It's coming to plug and play, obviously, which is just going to be if you want to use a DJI controller and with no receiver, obviously you can do that. That's an option as well. There's the AC900 receiver version, and then there's the Crossfire receiver version. The XM Plus receiver is right there. The bind button is very easily accessible. I think it's probably where they're going to put all the receivers, and then for the XM Plus version they put the antennas at the back here, although I don't think that's ideal. You should probably reroute them up to the top here, although I didn't have any fail-safe issues. So this has this option here. You can add this mount if you want, which goes kind of like this, and these 2 back standoffs go on top of the long screws here, the part of the flight stack mounting, and the mount goes back here like this. Is for the Insta360 Go camera. I did a video already and showed you guys how the FPV stabilization works. So if you want to see the flight for the with the FPV stabilization for the Insta360 Go on this, I'll go ahead and link that video down in the description if you guys haven't seen that already. But the camera mount, you can see, is kind of flat, so when the camera goes in here like so, you actually get part of the frame and the motor and prop shows up here, because where the camera is kind of off to the top and to the right, and it's pointing towards this front part of the drone. So you might want to, if you don't want that showing up in your video, you might want to redesign this mount here and have some more angle. I suppose you could rotate this inside here if you want. If you want to do that instead, you could probably do that with like a heat gun and heat up this TPU to like reform it if you want more angle. But if you just kind of slide it in normally, it's just going to be basically at a flat angle and not at the same angle as your FPV camera. Okay, so this is what the drone weighs by itself, and on my scale it's 103 grams. I think it's advertised to be like 98 grams in the product specs, so maybe they're not including the battery strap or something like that. This is pretty much everything, nothing on here, just the drone. And then they advertise, or they recommend two different, or actually a range of batteries. So Forest 450, this is the one I flew, up to I think a Forest 850. I flew up to Forest 650 on one of the longer flights. I'll link that in the video description. You can watch that. Yeah, actually, it was just a really long flight, so I'm not going to put that in this video. It's an 8-minute flight, I believe. I'll link that video down in the description if you guys want to watch the whole flight. It's just kind of basically I wanted to show you guys how long it could fly, just kind of cruising around on a 650. If you want to carry around an 850, which I did not test, I think you can get even on a longer flight more than 10 minutes. Although, something like this, I'm not sure if it's really heavy at that point. I'm not really sure how much fun that is, unless you just want to really fly around for a really long time. So I think they do recommend from a 4S to a 450 to a 850, but I think the tune is going to be best on the 450, and that's going to give you the best accurate performance. And you get still pretty good flights, like I think almost 5 minutes, I believe. And then even especially if you're carrying around an Insta360 Go with extra weight, you want to definitely go with the 4S 450 to give you the best performance, basically the best power to weight ratio. It's on this setup here on 4S. It's pretty good. So with the 4S 450 battery here, the total weight comes to 159 grams. And I think with the mount, without the camera here, it's coming at 110 grams. And then with the Insta360 Go, let's go ahead and throw that on here too. Now we're coming at 128 grams. And then with the 4S450, it's coming at 185 grams total weight. And then with the no camera and the 650 4S, it's coming in 180 grams. So regarding the out-of-the-box Petunia, I didn't do any changes. It just, whatever you get from the factory, this is what you're going to get. I just put in my rates and then modes for my transmitter. The thing, basically the modes I like. I got rid of angle mode, which I don't fly. I just flew it on acro mode. But pretty much everything else is exactly what you would get from the factory. So it's out of the box. It's tuned pretty good. And again, I would recommend flying the 450 for the best performance. The heavier battery, you get a little bit more prop wash out if you're going to be more acro and stuff like that. So be aware of that. Because I think if you're going to a heavy battery, you're probably going to go for more flight time and cruising. And if you want to do more acro, then go for the lighter battery. You're going to get a better performance on the Petunia on the lighter battery, in my opinion. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. At the time of this recording the video, it's only on pre-order right now at Banggood and Makerfire, but I've been told by Geelang that they should start shipping sometime after June 14th. That's what they've told me. So maybe by the time you see this video, it may already be posted as in stock, but most likely it'll still be on pre-order. Again, like kind of like anything in China, with the way the shipping and the way the inventory works, if you want something and you wait until it's in stock, sometimes you may not be able to order it because all the people that have pre-ordered it are the ones that are getting the first shipment. So again, if you're worried about this being a first batch, that there's cons to that as well. There may be some hidden problems that I haven't discovered on this one, of course. You never know, and that's if you want to get something in the first batch, there's obviously risk with that as well. Anyway, guys, here's the flight demo on the Forest 450. For the Forest 650, that'll be linked down in the description, and on the flight for the Insta360 Go. That'll be in a separate video, and that'll be linked down in the description as well. Let's go do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Alright, it's pretty windy right now, as it is pretty much every day here in the afternoon. Just want to see what the default tune is. Not too bad, not too bad, considering how windy it is. It's recommended batteries are 450 to, like, I think as high as 850, and they're saying 7-minute flight on a 650, I think, something like that. So pretty decent flight times on this. And yeah, it's going to be fast if you want it to fly fast. Let's see how maneuverable this is. Oh, it is damn windy right now. Whoa, watch out for the trees. So it's fairly responsive. Yeah, the wind is wreaking havoc right now. Let's see if I can fly a little closer here. Let's do a full punch out here. Wow. Crazy. So it's got power. If you want to be doing a lot of acro and stuff, you probably want to go on the lighter 450 battery. This is a Beta FPV 4S 450. I'm sure there's others out there. I think this is the only one I've got. The other ones are bigger, like 550, 650. Let's see here, we're at 14.6 volts on the battery, not too bad. Almost 3 minutes of flight time. This is going to be your most maneuverable setup here in terms of weight, the smaller battery. I'd say overall the out-of-the-box tune's pretty decent. It's going to change when you add more weight, so they may have optimized this for the 650, I don't know. And of course the weather and stuff is going to have an effect, the wind. Yeah, flight time's pretty good. 4 minutes on a 450 is pretty decent for this setup and weight. 14.3 volts, so almost 3.5 volts per cell now. And it isn't sagging. Well, it's now starting to sag, so go ahead and bring it in now. Let me know what you guys think.